Okay, so we are back for our final session of Befallen. This is going to be the finale. And so we are still in Amandet, the desert city, location, settlement, as it were. And so last time we arrived here, and we had to immediately accept an offer for the Hungering Flame corruption. Our rose to level 4. So now we smell like wood smoke. And so that's coming off of us. We confirmed 2 major leads. I was able to verify a couple clues and get some new ones. And then we spent the rest of the time in the desert handling the risen king of the sand, and we tracked the sound of digging through sandstorm and discovered an ancient city being excavated by mind-controlled workers. And then after breaking the spell, we had to fight off a swarm of sand shades, which are just like these creatures that are made of sand, animated though. And that was interesting. And then we reached an underground vault, successfully renewed the 5 seals on essence jars, and the ritual was a success. And the locals were grateful. But here's the thing as we open up the session. As it's time to finish this, did some more digging and some investigating. Turns out the rumors were slightly off, or the items were moved recently because the Enkindlers intercepted the shipments that were originally headed for Karn and another location called Marrowlight. So the final pieces of Milena Everfall's apparatus, which is my obsession. I want to find all those pieces. They're being held. Rumor is that they're being held in a fortified transport hub on the edge of the salt mines, right here in Amandet. So that is where we're starting off. So I'm going to look into this some more. I'm going to investigate or sneak, whatever I have to do, because I have to locate a specific crate. It contains the harmonic resonators and the spectral condenser. Those are 2 pieces that are needed. But there is a lot of commerce here. There is a lot of moving pieces, lots of carts. So we got to locate this specific crate. So I'm going to roll a d12. It's always a d12 when you're confirming clues and rumors. And that will be what I have to go up against. Oh my. Of course I rolled a 12. Oh, why do I have to roll high all the time? Okay. Now, I am someone who, more often than not, rolls pretty well. But in solo games, it works against me because I'm rolling well for all the challenges and all the enemies. Okay, so I need a 10 in order to beat this. I am investigating, of course. So that's 3d10. And I'm using persuasion. I'm trying to get people to talk to me and open up. Use some charm. Okay. That is only... I have 5d10. But as people know, you can roll 10d10 and still get absolutely nothing. But you know what? This is the final session. I got 18 fate points. Oh my god, I forgot I had that much. Okay. Oh my god. Let's do this. Oh my god, I got a 10. Oh, nice. I did get a 1 though, so it's like a success with the complication. Let's see if I can spend all my fate points by the end of the session. That'll be funny. I have 19 now. And with fate points, I can re-roll any d10 in my dice pool. I can add 1 damage or reduce 1 damage, or I can gain a resource. Okay, so I've secured the crate. The harmonic resonators and the spectral condenser are finally in my grasp. I was able to locate them, but as I pull them from like the packaging, a series of small glass vials hidden shatter. That's the little complication. And they release a pungent, smoky smell. and you could see the smoke goes up around my face. And I'm kind of like marked. It's like when you steal money from a bank and then you go to check it and then you get splattered with paint. That's what it is. So I think I am now on the Enkindler's radar. So they know exactly what was taken, and more importantly, they're likely headed to me. They may even know where I'm going to use it, of course. We'll say that the complication, the High Priest, they've already sent word ahead. The solar core, which I need, is guarded, but is actually actively now being reinforced. And so my first obstacle will be significantly more difficult. So when you're ending the game, it says come up with 3 obstacles to try to resolve your plot. So you come up with 3 to overcome your to resolve your plot, and then an obstacle you have to fight to win, or you have to convince someone, an item you need to find, a location you need to navigate, or a skill challenge, etc. So 3 obstacles. As I'm making my way, we have the perimeter of the solar core is crawling with elite salt shards. I need to get to the center of the basin. So I can sneak or use deft to navigate the formations, or I can strike to carve a path through. The difficulty is a D12. +1 because of that complication. Come on, roll low. Okay, so that's an 8. And to be clear, to explain what's going on, the solar core is a massive, like, natural bowl that is carved into the salt flats outside of Amandet, and it acts like a giant sort of magnifying glass. And the salt walls are so reflective that the sun's light and heat are concentrated in the center. And so it kind of makes the air ripple with like a physical vibration. And for a normal person, the glare would cause probably instant blindness. But for someone carrying the hunger flame like myself, it's like a battery, kind of. So the sand shades are scattered throughout the basin, and the sand shades are those creatures. So they're standing around. They're like salt statues, of course, and they're perched on the rim of this blinding crater. And to reach the center, I have to navigate salt pillars now without alerting hundreds of these shades that are waiting below. So that's obstacle 1, is to navigate that. And I rolled an 8. So I'm going to use, of course, sneak, of course, and then deft. Oh, I'm not an expert in deft. It's okay. I have 19 fate points. I'm not afraid. We'll see how that goes. Okay. So I have 3d10. I just got to beat an 8. Let's go. Did I roll a 10? Yes. 6, 7, and 10. Okay, fate points are now at 20. My goal of using all of them by the end of the session is looking more challenging. So I move with grace. I'm sliding through the shadows of like different salt pillars, the sand shades. They remain still. They fail to catch a hint of my passage as I'm making my way. Now, I've reached the center of the basin. The glare is so bright here. There is a high priest, we'll say, of the Enkindlers. And we see a man. He's tall. He's standing over a ritual circle. And I need to stop him before he can interfere with my connection to the eternal. The eternal song is the corruption that I'm connected to. So yes, we need to stop him. So this obstacle 2. So let's neutralize the threat. Neutralize this priest. I can strike him down before he can channel. I can use persuasion, try to convince him that Apparatus will consume him, maybe. What can I do? What can I do? What should I do, actually? I could talk to him. Try to use persuasion, but if it doesn't work... It's a D12 right now. Okay, so what I'm going to do is try to convince him. I go behind him, I tap him on the shoulder. He looks startled a bit, turns around. My hands go up, and I let him know. High Priest, this apparatus will consume you. You do not understand what you are messing with, what you experiment with. Move back and let me handle it. Let's see what happens. Let's see what the challenge die. Of course I roll an 11 on the challenge die. Yep. Okay, so I am using deception. I am trying to convince him too, though. Okay. I'm going to use persuasion and deception. So that's 3. I have 4 d10 that I can roll. And we'll see what happens. Now, that was not a success. That's 3, 3, 7, 8. What I'm going to do again, I'm going to use 4 fate points to reroll 4. I'll go down to 16. And if I don't get a 10, it wasn't meant to happen. Not meant to be. Let's go. That is 2. Wow. Almost the same exact roll. That's 2, 3, 7, 8. Oh, no successes. Uh-oh. But you know what? You can use fate points to add on damage. So if this is going to turn to a fight, let's go. Let's go. What happens is the High Priest doesn't even flinch. He just exhales, and a white light around him turns him into this like physical wall of heat. I get thrown back, and the salt crust that is made up in this bowl shape area, it scrapes against my skin as I skid across the basin, and the smell of wood smoke mixed with my own mark mingles, and I smell the scent of singed hair, and I take 2 damage. So I go down from 8, so now I'm at 6 fortitude, and eventually the heat blast, it clears. I'm panting on the floor, and the High Priest doesn't even give me time to recover. I see him raise his arms, and 4 Enkindler acolytes emerge from the white glare, and their eyes are burning with a fanatical light as they stalk towards me. I am outnumbered and about to burn to death. So it looks like it's 5 against 1. The total fortitude is 16 that I have to go up against. It's with the High Priest, who has 12 plus 4 for his acolytes. So he also deals 1 plus damage on successful hits. And while the acolytes stand, the High Priest is harder to pin down. He has those abilities. So I see the High Priest. He draws a curved blade. It's obsidian and it's glowing. It looks white hot. And he says, The eternal song does not speak to thieves. It speaks through the fire that consumes them. And listen, I have my immolation dagger. Okay. I think I have some abilities. What is the hungering flame? Do you give me any cool abilities now, sir? I don't even have any cool abilities because I'm at a certain level. I need to get up to level 5 to get anything other. All I have the ability is of smelling like smoke. How is that an ability? You have the ability to smell of smoke. Be grateful. Okay, so what I'm going to do first is look for an opening, because I want that to help me with advantage. So I'm looking for an opening. I'm going to use investigation. So I have 3d10. I'm going to go up against a d8. That is their combat die. Okay, I rolled a 5. Not bad, not bad. Okay. So I have 3d10. Okay. Nice. Okay, so that's one success. The High Priest, he goes to lunge, and his blade whistles through the air. Like, it goes right above where my head was a second ago, but I've already ducked behind, like, assault formation. And I'm ready to strike back with the full power of my immolation dagger. I could also spend 1 corruption die to deal an additional damage. But I also can sacrifice 3 fortitude, to ignite an eternal flame within my opponent. And this will cause them to lose 2 damage at the top of each round. I only have 6. That'll put me at 3 if I really wanted to do it. I do have a whole bunch of fate points. I could use fate points to add extra damage. Add 1 damage. Or reduce 1 damage. Oh, I can only use 1 fate point. Oh, okay. 1 fate point equals 1 damage. So I could do like 5 fate points per se if I wanted to. Let's see how it goes. Let's see. It's the finale and I have 16. Let's do this. Okay, so let's roll the d8 against this guy. Okay, that's a 7. I have my immolation dagger. Okay, so that was a 7. I'm going to do strike. And I have advantage. And then there's the base. So that's 3d10. And 7 or higher. Oh. Oof. That's 7 and then 1 and 1. I could use 2 fate points to reroll. That's only 1. That's only 1 damage. I'm going to use 4 fate points and do 5 more damage. So fate goes down to 12. But I do 5 damage. Okay, I'm also going to spend... I'm going to spend 1 corruption point with my immolation dagger. I can spend 1 corruption die and add +1. So total, that's going to be 6 damage total to this guy. So the enemy is now at 10 fortitude out of 16. I'm at 6. So I have the dagger. It flares with this orange light. It like pulsates. And I force my corruption into the blade. And I bypass the priest like obsidian ward or anything that he has up. I strike true. And then the charred edge carves there's a glowing line through the robes of the enkindlers. And I deal 6 damage. And I think what that looks like is 2 of these guys are gone. Because I'm doing like group initiative type thing. So I'm not taking them one by one. It's all a group. So they're down to 10 out of 16. So a slash, 2 of them are gone as they fall to pillars of salt. The High Priest, he like reels back. His skin starts to blister from this unnatural heat that comes from the dagger, but he still maintains his grip on his blade. So let's get to round 3. Again, I'm going to look for an opening. See if I can get advantage at round 4. So that's a d8. Okay, rolled a 6. Okay, so that's investigation. So that's going to be 3d10. Let's go. Okay, 1 success. That's all I needed. Round 4, I have advantage. So round 3 is like I slash at 2 of them. They burst into flame and turn into these piles of salt. And then now I start to circle. Now we're all just kind of circling around each other. No one's moving too quickly, and I'm examining them, trying to look for a good opening, and I did. So this is round 4. Challenge die is a 1. Oh yeah, let's do this. I'm going to strike, and I have advantage, and then there's the base die, so that is 3d10 again. Let's go. Yes, that's 3 successes, and I rolled a 10, so fate point goes up to 13. But you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to use another corruption die from the Hungering Flame, add additional damage, so one more. And I'm going to use three fate points for additional damage. So in total, that is 7 damage. Okay, so I take out the last of I take out the last of the acolytes here, and now it's just me and the priest is not looking good because the priest only has 3 damage health left. Now I slash the last 2. The high priest, he stumbles back. You see his blade starts to drag in the salt. Acolytes have been swept away by the heat and the wind, and it leaves only the 2 of us at the heart. This blinding white basin. And this priest, he's barely holding on. You see his skin is cracked, his eyes wide. He's realizing that he cannot contain the power that I've just unleashed. So, it's time for the final blow. I'm not looking for a good opening. I have one. Okay, challenge die is a 4. Let's do this. I'm striking again. I rear back. I have the immolation dagger. I put it 2 arms go above my head, and I go to stab down into his chest. And remember, this was just obstacle 2, but I rolled poorly and it turned into a fight. I still have one more obstacle after this. Okay, let's do this. I'm striking. Let's go. Oh, yes. That was 7, 8, and 10. And I just needed... So that's 3 successes. I'm going to use a fate point to additional damage. So, we watch the high priest fall. His blade clatters onto the salt-crusted floor. Light fades from his eye, and everything goes quiet. And so, I am alone now in the center. I'm breathing hard. This blinding white bowl. I start to see all the pieces. They had all the pieces. I had some as well from my journeys. I lay out the pieces of the apparatus, and the harmonic resonators start to hum in my hands, and they're vibrating with the natural frequency of the salt flats around me. And the spectral condenser catches the sun, and it starts to bend the light into a single needle-thin beam of pure energy, and the air around me begins to crack. I have to tune the machine perfectly because it reveals this glimpse of a vast, like, starscape beyond the sky as I look up into the blue sky. So I need to tune the machine perfectly to try to bridge this gap. This is the moment where our obsession becomes reality. These are the final roll results. So it's going to be against a D12. Of course, I roll an 11. Of course, I roll the higher numbers. Difficulty is 11. I do need a 10. But listen, I'm not too worried. I got 10 fate points, and then also I have 5 stamina. You can use stamina I believe you can use stamina to reroll as well. It's like pushing yourself. Fate points are like bending fate to your will, and then stamina is more like your energy and pushing beyond your limits. So I can add... Oh, actually, I can spend 1 stamina to add an additional D10 to my skill roll. Okay. That makes a lot of sense. I am going to use Occult. Now, Occult, I only have 1 D10. I have the base die. So that's only 2 D10. I'm going to spend 3 stamina as I push myself to add 3 more D10. So that will make it 5 D10. I need a 10. Okay, let's see how this goes. Oh my god, that's nothing. 1, 2, 6, 7, and 9. Oh my god, I'm going to spend 5 fate points. Oh my god, my stamina is at 2. I'm going to spend 5 fate points to reroll. Oh no. Okay, there we go. 2, 4, 6, 8, and 10. Oh my gosh. And so, narratively, I'll say that the machine starts to shudder in my hands, and the brass gears of the apparatus start to scream as they spin at impossible speeds. And for a second, I think it might explode. And that's where that first failure comes in. But then the frequency hits the perfect resonance, and the blinding white of the solar core starts to fade away, starts to peel away, and the air grows extremely cold. The sky above Amondet is replaced by a vast silent void filled with stars, and it gets extremely dark. Standing in the center of the salt basin is a figure that looks like they're made of stars and constellations and shifting gravity, and I know immediately inside my being, this is the eternal song. Melena's life work was real. We have breached the walls of this world. And I'll say that the contact is brief. I want it to be longer, but it's a flood of knowledge that vibrates through my bones, and then a final ringing chime from the resonators. And the apparatus, it glows. And then all of a sudden the stars vanish. The heat of the desert rushes back in. And I'm back, alone in the salt, the body of the High Priest still at my feet. But I have seen what lies beyond, and my obsession has been satisfied. And if I'm thinking about the prologue, what's left of my character, Serrin, is their name, by the way. I think they left the blinding white of Amondet behind. I think he makes his way back to Rhymehaven, their hometown. But he's not the same person who left. Still carries the scent of wood smoke and old soot. I think this first month spent in silence, he rests in a small cabin, lets the mountain air cool the fire in his veins now. Hands eventually stop shaking. I think the scar from the solar core will never leave him, though. I think in time, this kind of rogue alchemist and academic person who had this obsession maybe found a partner who doesn't mind the strange smell of smoke that clings to his skin, and maybe raised children who grew up hearing stories of the desert and the salt. And these children learn to read about the stories of their father. I don't think he keeps the secrets to himself. I think he spends evenings writing in a thick, leather-bound book. Maybe it's titled The Secrets of the Eternal Song or something like that. And he doesn't write it to encourage others to follow him. I think he wrote it as a warning of what it costs. I think he lost a lot, gained a lot. And he lives out his days as a respected elder of Rhymehaven. I think he saw what the stars are from the inside. He went through his obsession and decided that being back at home was actually finally enough for him. And so he still has the hungering flame inside him. I don't think that'll go out, but it gets quieter now, and he's satisfied by the life he's built now as the years go on. And that is the end of my playthrough of Befallen. Yay! So overall, my final thoughts on this game are that I had a good time. I would still recommend people to play this if they like a good, solid core loop. It is the only thing that I don't want to say I'll fault it, but the thing that I did notice was that the core loop never meaningfully changes, even as your character improves. So I can get more fate points, I can upgrade my fortitude and get more resources and skills and things like that. But the core loop never changed, and I started noticing that around maybe session 5 or 6. I noticed that I would go to different locations, and then those locations and the core loop stayed the same. And I like, and I kind of compare it to Astro Prisma, where it has like the factions that will ask you for different things and are looking for different things, and that diversity that comes in, and the chaos and the randomness that is built because of that. And I was finding that you go to this location, you look for clues, you help them out, done. And then you go to the next location, you look for clues, you help people out, done. And that was the only thing. I felt myself feeling, I guess, a little bit bored by it. But there's still a lot from this game that I really do like. I like rolling against challenge die. I like the creativity of all the different settlements, and the lore was really fun. I like rolling against it, the challenge die, and like rolling I love a pool. I like rolling the pool of D10s, and that mechanic is really fun. But yeah, I was just finding that the underlying frame is identical every time you go to a new location, you investigate clues, you deal with an issue, you get rewards, and then you move on. Different lore and different flavor, but yeah, as I said. And it's not it's not repetition in the sense of doing the same thing again, because I love procedural stuff and I love hex crawling, and hex crawling is kind of like that, but it's like the static escalation. So I was starting to notice like the world doesn't really react to me getting stronger. Nothing new activates because of my progression. No locations unlock because of my level of power. Enemies didn't scale, or they didn't seem to. Or so yeah, the loop didn't evolve. It just repeats with new text. And so even though I level up and get new stuff, the world kind of stayed flat. And that's what I started noticing. I started feeling, I guess, a little stale. I wasn't missing difficulty. I was missing like any type of phase changes. And so if I was going to add in one thing, that's what I would do. Some type of new mechanics, or some pressure unlocking later, or regions or threats gated behind progress, or an escalation that says like you're in Act 2 now, or some type of sense that the game notices your growth. So I think Befallen is really great, and it gives you variety, but not transformation, if that makes sense. And that's a small issue. I would still recommend this game, and I might even return to it in the future after going away for a while and testing out other games. So yeah, but there's still a lot to like and have a lot of fun with Befallen. The fact that one person worked on this, and you could tell a lot of hard work was put into it, especially into the lore, into the art, into the main mechanics in terms of like the D10 pools and following your obsession. And there's lots of like character classes. Like I played one character class, which is an awakened scholar, but you can be a rogue alchemist, a virtuoso, a hunter, a fated hero, a memento. So yeah, I might come back and play a different type of class with different equipment, a different obsession, and different abilities. And I got the core loop down. And I might play something that uses the spells a lot more, and the formula and hedge magic. So yeah, and the bestiary is really cool. Like there is a lot to like, but yeah, there's that small issue where I was starting to feel the staleness after a while. So I think I will give this a break, and definitely I want to come back in the future. And there's a lot of character classes, so that is it for Befallen. If you have watched or listened along with this playthrough, thank you. And stay tuned for whatever is coming next. I'm sure it's going to be fun. And I'm excited to get into different systems, different games, and different worlds, different settings, and a new character, and all that good stuff. So have a good day, everybody.